this is Charmaine with Two Shabby Shoes, and today I'm in the studio and I'm going to be working with Shabby Art Boutique's Forever Friends kit, and I'll put a link in the description box to the Shabby Art Boutique Etsy shop so you can see this kit and everything that's available in it and everything else that she has to offer. Oh my goodness, she has some beautiful things. These are upside down. And here's, I printed out the whole kit, and just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Some very inspiring, sentimental quotes, and very reflective for me, keeping me thinking about friends that I've met over the years and how much they've meant to me. And it's just a really all-around very sentimental and beautiful kit. And today I'm going to show you how I did the little booklet that you saw in the intro, and it's pretty quick and easy, and I'm going to show you how I did the booklet and then let you embellish on your own. So I used 2 pages from the Fussy Cuts file for the Forever Friends kit, and I used Fussy Cuts page 22, and I printed 2 of these, and we're going to use one of these for each signature. I did 2 signatures in my little journal, and then I connected them with hinges that I did out of tea-dyed torn muslin. And this is a little tiny thing. It's so pretty, but it measures 2 and about 2.5 by 3.5, roughly. Very small, but absolutely precious. So anyway, I used 2 of these. So I also used page 3 of the Fussy Cuts file, and I cut out this doily to use as the base for the little stand that I made to hold up my little mini journal on my bookcase. I'm going to tell you how I cut these out in order to form the actual booklet. So I cut out these 4. These are actual tags, and when I saw them, I went, oh, they would be folded, could be folded like a paper doll perfectly into a little book. So I cut these 4 and I left them intact. I left these 2 intact, and I cut these 2 separately. These 2 are going to be the front and the back cover to my little mini journal. And then this is going to be, these 2 are going to be the center spread. After I cut them out, I then transferred this little scallopy edge of this particular tag on top of the others in order to get the top of it to all be the same. So once I cut them out, then they look like this. And then I folded them like paper dolls, and then cut the top to match. So there's the 4 together, there's the 2 together, and here is the extra ones for the center spread and the cover. So then I scored on the lines, and then I folded them. And what I'm going to do next, because I would like to have a more rounded corner on my little mini journal, which you don't have to do this, but I'm going to round these before I ink. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to have them all inked so that you can, and trimmed so that you can see how I'm going to be gluing these. Okay, so I'm back after cutting and inking, and before I glue, I wanted to show you how I found best to cut the tops so that they were matching. Normally what is best to do would be to match two together or back them with a different paper, glue them, and then cut them, and then it's completely uniform and you'll have no white showing at all. I had a hard time with that. I did it a couple different ways. I folded them, transferred the shape to the top, and tried to cut them with the craft knife. Although it cuts with the craft knife, it kind of chewed it up a little bit. Probably needed to have a sharper blade. But I then decided maybe I would try something different. So each piece that is going to back onto another piece, I cut those at the same time so that they may not match this one exactly, but at least they match itself as close to as possible, and there's not going to be any white showing. If there is, we can go back and trim it after gluing and re-ink a little bit. But I wanted to let you know that I did find a more uniform way to get them cut. A die cut would be really good, or I think they even have punches where you can punch the top, but those things really aren't necessary as long as you can get a nice shape in the end, whatever stencil you use or pattern template, whatever you use. And then when I inked everything, I found the best thing to use, and I'm using ink oxide, and this is Vintage Photo, with one of these sponge ink applicators. And one of the things that I found is I was having a hard time getting down into, see how this meets after the curve, down into the V of the curve. I was having a hard time getting in there with a round sponge. So I found that this works the best because it's got this edge on it. I don't know if you can see that it's got a flat edge which can fit into nicely into the little cuts there to give it some inking. Otherwise it stays white. So I inked all the front, and then I inked the back. And I inked the back so for two reasons. One's to help minimize when they're matching up, to see if they don't match up exactly, it's already inked on the back, and that will help. And the other reason is to ink the back when we fold it like paper dolls. The actual back of the card is going to show. So I wanted it to have a little bit of distress so that I don't have to ink it after the fact. So I just went ahead and did all of that at one time. So okay, so I'm going to start the gluing process, and I'm going to do one signature, and I've already have one done, which I will go back and I will re-ink the cuts that I made on this one. But this is for the cover, and you can put anything you want on the cover. I chose this to be the cover and this to be the back. So in creating the second signature, I did it in reverse so that these two will be the center spread. So first I'm going to use this art glitter glue, which is really, really nice gluing for paper, and it grips and holds really fast, and it's just really, really a lovely glue. So I'm going to glue all the way up to the edges, and I'm sorry if I get out of range on this. I have a hard time remembering not to bring it right up to my face. So you want to match it up as quickly and as see, you have a second to get that off of there. Let's see if I can do that a little bit better. And see, I cut these to match, and I don't know what happens, but as soon as you start to glue, stuff goes kind of sideways. But see, I'll have to come back and I'll have to trim that off. just doesn't match up the way I would like it to. So a little bit of trimming, not very much. Okay, so then I'm going to glue these two together and hopefully we'll have a better outcome. This is such a fun little project. I hope that some of you will try it. It was so much fun, and the kit is just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I hope you'll be able to start thinking of friends you've had in the past and friends you have now. Okay, so this is the 4 and then the single. So now I'm going to put the 2 on here. See, now those really went together nicely. There might be just a tiny bit of trimming I have to do on those, which is so much better than the first way that I did it. And I'm using 65-pound weight, so I don't think it was necessary to use such a heavy weight. Which, being so heavy, it was harder to cut more than 2 at a time. So maybe trying a lighter weight paper would help with getting the white, getting it matched up better. Okay, and now I'm going to glue on the back. And I want to show you a trick I found a few months ago, and it is for when you haven't glued all the way around and you find out later. I found this tip of how to get glue in there without getting it all over the place, and it works really, really, really well. So I'm just going to take a scrap of paper and, well, let's see if I can find where I left it open. Yep, right here. Okay, see how that's, sorry, again, if I get off camera, I really apologize. So I have just a scrap of paper, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the edge of that, and then I'm going to hold open the area that needs more glue, and then I'm just going to smear it in there. Now you could use a brush, or you could use the applicator that comes with the glues. They have some nice fine points, but this is just, it's not oozing out anywhere. It just works perfectly. And I wish I could remember where I found the tip, but I really don't remember, and I apologize. If it was you that came up with that, please let me know. And I'm sure that there's lots of other ways, and if you have some tips, please post them in the comments section. I would love to hear and use some of the tips that all of you have for inking and gluing to share with everyone else. So, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera, and I'm going to trim some of these down and do some re-inking and a little bit of fine-tuning of this so that I'm happy with the way that it looks. And see, this would be the back of the cardstock that we inked, and that is the spine of the little mini journal, so that would show, and it would be stark white. But I do have a couple of little things I want to trim off, and I'll be back here in just a few minutes. Okay, yeah, that was fun. So I have both of my signatures done, and they look really cute, and I'm really happy with them. I'm hoping to make more of these. They are so fun. So now I'm going to show you how I did the spine, hooking them together using hinges. And this is just tea-dyed torn muslin that I thought looked cute, and you could use anything that you want. laces and seam bindings, other pieces of fabric that match the papers, because there's some gorgeous stuff out there, isn't there? But I'm going to use this, and I think it looks really cute, and I'm going to have 3 hinges. I think that I would be okay using just 2, but I thought it looked cute with 3. And I'm going to hook these together to see if that helps when I am moving this around to keep this nice and flat. Maybe I'll put 2 on it just because I have them, right? Okay, let's see if they get in my way. Okay, so I chose this as my front and my back. Make sure that they're right, and then I'm just going to just rip a couple of these pieces, and I'm going to do the first one and see if it's narrow enough and long enough. And I don't want to cover up too much of the printed frame, so yeah, that side's going to look good. This muslin tears really nice. It gives that shabby look that is just so fabulous. I get really excited about torn fabric. Okay, so we have 3 there. All right, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use Fabri-Tac, and this is vegan Fabri-Tac, and I've got it in one of the Sugar Bell bottles with a nice tip on it. And I'm going to glue the top and the bottom ones first, and then center the middle one in between. And normally, if you have a bigger project, you want to use a paintbrush to put this on, I think, so that the glue doesn't smush through. I mean, if it's evenly spread out, it does look better. This is a very tiny project, so I'm not necessarily concerned with it, but if you had a bigger project, you definitely want to use your finger or a paintbrush to smooth that out, so that for sure it's not going to look puddled underneath, because it'll dry looking puddled. It will never, that never goes away. So I was able to smush it out just a little bit so that you can barely tell. So there's the first one, and you know, this is pretty thin. I think I'm going to tear another one. You can see that the fibers are separating. I don't know how that's going to last in longevity, even with the glue. So I think I'm going to do another one. This one looks like it has that too. I haven't seen that happen before. So let's see what we can do about it. By getting new ones, maybe I'll not put so much muscle behind it. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let me get another one. It's kind of wide, but all right, now let's see if those are gonna, oops, wrong side. Let's see if these are gonna fit. And you can see it's starting to lift up. I didn't get glue all the way to the end, so I'm just gonna put a little smush underneath there to hold that down. And this does look like it's gonna be big enough. Great. Let me clean this off. And I am putting some on the spine. When I get finished with gluing the hinges on the outside, I'm going to open it up to the center spread and put a little bit of glue on the inside as well, just to give it a little bit of extra support. I am going to be using my mini journals, so I would expect that if you give yours away, that you would hope that your friends would be using it. or even if you gave it as, you know, a birthday or just a thinking of you, that once they start flipping through, you definitely want the hinges to hold up. Yeah, that one's a little wide. Oh well, I'm gonna go with it. They're all gonna be different. If you're not measuring and being exact with your fabric cutting and laces and things, then you're gonna run the risk of them being a little bit off. And I'm sorry, I was probably off the screen, bringing it up to my face so I can see what I'm doing. But I'm gonna try to remember to hold back a little bit. Some crafts I can do pretty much blindfolded. This doesn't happen to be one of them. Okay, there we go. That's cute. Okay, so I'm going to release these clips and I'm going to give it a little smash. I want it to be good and adhere to the paper. We're almost done. So you can see there's a little bit of gap from one paper to the fabric. So I don't want my paper to be stuck to paper. I want paper to be stuck to fabric. So I'm going to hold it back, let it flop open just a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in there just to make sure that each signature is definitely stuck to that fabric. So I'm just going to do this and let that set up. So that's it. That's how you construct my little mini journal. So sweet and so cute. And yeah, you can embellish as much or as little as you want. And I think these tags would be really cute if you were able to cut out and insert some of the acetate, some clear plastic for a window. Put one of the butterflies, so roses or a sentiment in there for your friends. There's just endless possibilities. You could even put 3 signatures in. It all depends on how big you want it. And I didn't resize the tags. This is how they came in the kit in the letter size. And you could resize them and print them larger and have a much larger journal, which would be really cute too. And you could put more in. Okay, so let me show you how I did this really simple. I just wanted it to prop up. It's hard to see the angle here, but in the intro video that I did, you can see it sideways. I wanted it to prop up so that I could actually see how pretty it is. And then if I wanted to hold it open, I could hold it open to a page if I wanted to. The signature, or the center spread. It's just so cute. It's so fun. But anyway, I just held it together with a button in the back. But I want to show you this. And all I did was, again, take the Fussy Cuts page 3 doily, and I cut that out, and I backed it onto another piece of card to give it more stability. And I didn't let it dry long enough before I started playing with it, so I did curl up a little bit, but you can fix that. It's not a big deal. But I did back it onto another piece of paper to give it more rigidity, because the 65-pound might be a little bit too thick for the pages of the book, which it's nice to have it kind of firm, but you don't have to use that weight. But it is definitely good to have this double with the 65-pound to give it some support. And then I just put some flat back pearls and some beautiful roses, and it makes a gorgeous stand. And I do plan to keep my Forever Friends journal. And I'd love for you to put in the comments, if you keep yours, what you would use yours for, and how many you end up making and giving to your friends, and what they do with them. I think it's just beautiful. I mean, you could even turn this into a happy birthday for your friends. But I'm going to use mine to document my swap. I met the most fabulous women in the two swaps that I've been in, and I'm going to write on the back of the little ephemera cards and journal pieces that I have in here the date, the name, when the swap, where I did the swap. I know I'm going to be doing swaps in the future because it's just a wonderful way to meet people. And that way I have it all on record, what I did. And it looks so fun and so pretty. But I really feel like the ladies that I have met and have been creating with are going to be my forever friends. And I am so thankful to have met them and have them in my life. I want to thank you for coming into the studio with me today while I created this beautiful Forever Friends mini journal. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Thank you for watching. Bye.